Trollord Games. Join the fray.
There we are. For Ask Me Anything, I guess we're talking about. I don't have anything with me. Ask Me Anything, and I got nothing with me. There you go. Let me fix this craziness. I was talking to Chuck about something loud and proud. How's it going, Sparky? How's it going, Dolgard? Alright. I don't know what's going on there. Let me go get that. And that player's handbook. Everything's going crazy. I think we cut this ship a bit too tight. But there you go. How's it going, Seneca? The Reddit stuff kind of picked up a little more than we anticipated, I think. So that's kind of caught me and Chuck a little off guard. But that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Trying to figure out what Chuck was just talking about. Craziness. You gotta walk. Alright, there you go. Something, I guess. I don't know. It'll have to wait. It'll have to wait till after the Twitch stream. Because we are here to celebrate the Player's Handbook release. And the Goldenrod character sheets. Which I'm extremely happy about. Chuck talks about many things. Yes, he does. How's it going, Sparky? It like it would have been hard to keep up with. Yeah, the Reddit stuff, I've only done it once. I did the Q&A on Reddit once, and it's pretty cool. It's, it's kind of an old school way of yik-yakking, I guess, but it's hard to figure out, and I'm sure there's a shortcut that I don't know about. It's hard to figure out where people have replied and where they haven't replied, and where I've replied, and what I've said and what I haven't said, and blah, 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 blah. Earbud maxed out. Yeah, I'm glad, Sparky. I am so happy with this Player's Handbook. It really, Peter Bradley knocked it out of the park on the layout. And I know that right now all of the hubbub is about the tribute cover. Everyone's super stoked about it. But Peter went back into his, what we're calling the classic cover now, and he lightened it so the textures are popping more. So whatever version you end up landing, is just, I think you're going to be happy with it. And I'm really happy with the interior. He chose that orange color that you see where the headers are and area of effects and spell whatever's. And it's just, yeah, he did a great job. So I'm super happy about it. I sort of my newest makes it easier to follow. That's what I need to do. I need to figure out how to do that. It's probably just somewhere to click, I'm guessing. I got this thing opened. Where's the sort button? Live stream, blah, blah, blah. Download. So here we go. Sort by new. Yeah, that'll make it a lot easier. There's a lot of good questions. Quite a few business questions too that are very, very interesting. We're living in an era where there's some pushback. There's a lot of wealth going in this direction or whatever, and I understand that a lot of it isn't actually, it's not wealth you can put your hands on because it's caught up in a stock market that's probably somewhat bloated, to some degree. So the kind of the undercurrent of a lot of conversation these days has been living wages, blah, blah, blah. That's another topic. We're not even getting into any of that stuff. But where it touches us, this was a very interesting question, how to normalize paying artists, writers, designers, benefits and health benefits and all these other things in an industry that has extremely tight margins and is very fickle, and a consumer base that is very brand loyal. It's an interesting conversation. I tried to answer the question, but I felt my answer was rambling all over the place. But the whole Reddit thing's been fascinating today. Pretty timely stream. Steve just came home from a 4-hour CNC session with my retired pals. I'm taking to calling it CNC Seniors. That's pretty good. a new version. Davis wants us to up from, I think we're at 10 font now, maybe 10.5. Davis wants us to go from 10 to like a 14 font on the Player's Handbook. It'd be a 400-page book, but then he could read it. So maybe we'll do a C and Seniors version of the Player's Handbook. That would be hilarious. Absolutely love the greenish parchment background in new PHB. Yeah, I really like it too, and it lets that orange pop. It lets the black text pop, but really that orange, and when we were laying this out, when I told Peter, I just want to be able to access this certain information super fast, and he fixed it. I mean, that orange, especially in the area of effects, it just leaps off the page. I'm super stoked with this. I'm super stoked with the art. I'm glad we took the extra time to get all the art in there that I wanted in there. We were kind of getting rushed a little bit towards the end, but I held it up for another week or so to get the pictures of races, the male and the female in there for both ones. I wanted it all represented, and it is, and it's in there, and I'm just insanely stoked with the whole turnout. 14 point for the heart of seeing. How's it going, Jay? Thanks for the shout out on Twitter, very much appreciated. We're rolling these things out like crazy. I think we've shipped about 400 so far, so still a lot to go, but it's a hammer now. That was a very good question. Your answer did make sense. I think in any niche market that requires artistic talent to produce product is struggling with the same issues. And it really, you can take that over. I ran a comic book store. I run 2 comic book stores. I owned one and managed another. And the margins are tight there. I think on any kind of small business, the margins are tight, and you have almost no wiggle room to get in and out of things. And if something goes awry, you're out. And I own my own business, and my wife does too, and we're very well aware when one thing goes awry, how very, very quickly everything else can kind of come unsprung with it as well. I'm trying to find that, guys. I can't navigate this stuff very easily. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Okay. So I did touch on the insurance. It's very interesting because running a business is. I love it. I absolutely love it, but it's not easy to do. I mean, you got to look at everything. And then here's just an interesting thing that you don't really think matters that much, but turns out to matter a lot. And I've talked about this before on the regular stream. We got to a point just before COVID that we began buying. I stopped buying. What I essentially did is I fired the one box shipping company, and we parted on good terms. But and I started buying locally. And when I started buying locally, it cut the shipping expense out. And suddenly I realized I was saving, I don't know, it was probably a lot, $150 a month. And then I started looking, and that, it adds up. It's whatever it is at the end of the year, $1,200, whatever. And when I started looking at it even more, I just realized my microphone was over there by the window. When I started looking at it even more, I realized that if I buy in bulk, just a little bit over what I was buying, I get even more of a discount. So we started buying in huge quantities, from 50 and 100 to 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000, because you get the discount. But you can't do that when you're starting out. So there's so many margins that small businesses have to take into account. So many things they got to work with. And on the other end, the artists, Peter Bradley's put a huge amount of blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, a little better on that, into the company for 15, 20 years now, and so he's put in as many hours and risked as much financial well-being and health as anyone, and so he too deserves compensation. It just happens that Peter and I work very well together, and we're very happy with one another, and and ambling along. So yeah, it's running a small business it's got its challenges. And gotta do it, large print rocks. Yeah, that's what Davis is saying. I'm hitting the age with bigger fonts matter. There you go. I totally like the excerpt from the new PHB in the email. Wish I had been able to order a third printing, but I will get some time during the next year or so. Yeah, we're fixing to plaster those things everywhere because people need to see what it looks like. The inside is it's really, really good. Congrats on the general release. Thank you, Balfour. Much appreciated. I don't know. We're just super excited about it. Thank you, Crow. Very much excited. And I think we're doing... What are we doing, Chuck? We're giving some giveaways tonight. A player's handbook, 2 players' handbooks. We're giving something away. Chuck will post it in the stream. I got a couple of raffles going on. I'm also, and this is just kind of a sad statement of my age, I'm super excited about these Goldenrod character reference sheets. They're designed by Darlene, and they're the old classic color of these character reference sheets that AD&D used to put out. Steve, I think one of the many things that you guys have going for you exactly is that your AMAs, your Discord, and generally your accessibility and personal touch, you put on everything you touch. All of you trolls should pat yourselves on the back for building this amazing range of content and community. Well, thank you, Dahardrian. That's much appreciated. We actually try, we're gamers first, and we're all really sitting at the same table. You, us, all of us. And it's good to let everyone behind the curtain as much as you humanly can. And this is what's great about this, like this Twitch stream, and now that I got to do this AMA thing once a month. But what's great about this Twitch stream right now is just we can connect immediately, and it gives me an immediate response to things that we're doing and ideas that we have, and whether it's, and I can gauge it. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I don't know. It's just a good thing. I'm one of those, I'm a diehard capitalist without a doubt, but capitalism, it's a two-way street, I go to Barnes & Noble and I purchase books there, so I give them a lot of money, but on the reverse, they should be aware that should be treated decently. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And just the whole, you take some companies, they don't treat, customers very well. Of course, part of that's because they can. Goldenrod, the color of kings. Yes, indeed. I don't know why I love the color so much. I'm sure it's pure nostalgic for me, but I absolutely love it. Goldenrod is the way. Love the CNC. A nice game just started with Chuck. Excellent. Chris Sutherland, 1988. I kind of love the extra page count in the new PHB. Finally, the PHB has a nice complete level of heft to it. Not too much to carry, and just enough to hurt pretty bad when thrown. It is a little bit heftier, I gotta say. It's funny moving the boxes. Me and Wilson were moving. Me and Pete had to go get 15 boxes this past weekend, and we were loading them in the truck, and they're a little bit heavier than I'm used to. So I got to tell you, Omodi, it was really weird. You and some of you who've been playing CNC for a long time will appreciate this. Where's Peter's? So we had, this is the 7th printing. We had a smattering of these left, a dozen or so. And I pulled them. I officially pulled them off the shelf today, and for the first time, this is the 7th printing. So I've pulled 6 other printings off the shelf, and I felt sad for some reason. It was really weird. I thought, well, this is kind of sad, and I think it's because there's a new layout, a new look, a new size. Everything's kind of changed except Peter's cover. I don't know. It just seemed like it was the ending of an era. When I pulled them off the shelves. But there you go. All things forward. Adventure question. I do like the NPC stat blocks are not simply HP and a page number, but why are the NPC stat blocks in CNC Adventure modules written in longhand instead of simplified? Ah, yes, the real Dolgrim. I love this. Is my favorite question. This is literally my favorite question. So back when we did D20, so this is going to be 2000 through 2005, I guess, is when D20 imploded. I think is when it collapsed. The stat blocks for D20 were extraordinarily long, half a page easily, and if the monster was really particularly powerful, the stat block could go on forever and a day. It's very frustrating to edit and to write. I actually didn't write them. When I wrote an adventure, like Line on the Ropes, I would kick that to Casey Christopherson, pay him to do it. So Casey would do my notes for me because he had a command of the D20. And we got frequently reamed, because a colon would be in the wrong place or a bracket would be missing or something. And it frustrated me to no extent, particularly because of the way I game, because I don't really use stats that much. I make up a lot of stuff as I go. I change hit points, armor classes, all kinds of shit. So I change all the time. So the stat blocks for D20 were a little bit frustrating for me. So when CNC came out, I told everybody, starting with Davis, because he wrote A1. A1 was the first adventure that we had for Castles and Crusades. And I told him that this is the way I want the stat block. Everything in longhand. Don't abbreviate anything except the very first sentence. It says ACHP and what else? There's something else in that thing. Not move, something, whatever. But everything else is a complete sentence. I don't want any abbreviations. I don't want any of that shit. I don't want any colons anywhere near the stat block. I don't want any of it. Just write everything out in a sentence using commas as you would normally if you were writing a novel. Mac hated this idea. Davis hated this idea. All the playtesters hated this idea. Everybody hated this. The writers hated it. Casey hated it. Everybody hated it. But I stuck to my guns and I said, "This is absolutely not. This is not changeable. I'm not backing down on this, and this is the way we're going to do it. This is the way standard CNC." And that's what they did. And then after a little while, everyone grew used to it, and I think they realized the value in it because you don't have to think about your stat block at all. Just write a complete sentence, and if you write a complete sentence, you're golden. And even in the stat blocks, if you'll notice, sometimes we say, the Manticore's primary attributes are blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes we'll say the Manticore's prime attributes are blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of that. I want everything in complete sentences so no one can come back in and gig us for forgetting to put a bracket on there or some craziness. So it was a little bit petty on my part, but and it's one of the very few times I would not yield. I see the raffles going. Let me check with Chuck. We were absolutely in no way prepared for this day. We prepared. Okay, there you go. We knew this day was coming for about 10 days. We knew how our shipping would go, kind of how everything would go. But as the day rolled out, I didn't realize that I thought Reddit was going to be 7 to 10. I didn't realize it was a 24-hour thing. So I had to start answering Reddit at noon. There was some kind of huge snafu this morning. Something wrong with Equid. Tim and I couldn't get some files uploaded for the bundle. It was it was a very troll lord day. I remember about 4 o'clock this afternoon. I texted or Skyped, whatever Tim and I do. I said, "Tim, I don't think we are in any way, shape, or form ready for this day." He wrote back, "Nope, not at all." So there you go. It's a troll lord world. Hey there, Steven. How's it going, Shinkai? Hope you enjoyed the unboxing video Friday. I really love the Castle Keeper's book. Some amazing stuff in there. Yeah, that was very, very cool. I really enjoyed that. That was nice. It was nice to kick back and watch that. And I think we've tracked down your YouTube channel, so anytime you want to have me on, that would be fantastic. And maybe we can get you on this Twitch show at some point and just talk RPGs. Community, the whole 9 yards. That would be good. It'd be any amount of yik yaking's a good thing. And the CKG is, I'm very, very proud of that book. Extremely proud of that book. Not only because I wrote some of it, but there was a lot of great creators and designers in there, and it really brought tons of stuff to the table that needed to be at the table. So what did we find out? We were gaming the other day that needed to be in there. Son of a bitch. It'll be in the 4th printing. I can't remember what it was. We were running a game and missed something. Let's do it then. Shinkai. I don't know how to say your name, man. Shinkai 7. Shinkai 7. That's what we're going to go with until corrected. Aliens in PHB talk on my channel is still up. Yes, let's do it. Sparky, I got your email. I need to respond to it. I think Tim forwarded it to me. I'm all over it. Had an interesting conversation about aliens today, actually. A very good friend of mine said that he knows a fellow. See, this is what the whole alien thing is. The whole thing. He said that a friend of his that's in the Air Force knows that the land where the crash site occurred, maybe there might be 2 crash sites, I'm really not sure, is still controlled. It's owned by the family that owned it back in the 40s and the granddaughters of the rancher who owned it, but and the Air Force still controls it and doesn't allow people to have access to it. So very interesting. a very interesting bit of news on the alien and government conspiracy stuff today. I've been thinking about topics and talking about. So let's do it. Let's do an alien show. Let's just ratchet that stuff up. I'm very fascinated with it right now, and I'm a bit like whatever. I get easily distracted, so so we need to do it soon in case I get distracted and meander on. I'm starting to set up my next campaign in the next few weeks in Greyhawk. Excellent. And I'm hoping to get my players to like an AD&D CNC setup. Man, it's so easy. So I got to tell you, real doldrum, Todd Gray, who I have gamed with since 1984 or 1985. I don't know. He never played D&D, and he started playing AD&D because that's what I played with me and Rodney and Rhonda. And I can't remember those other two girls' names. There's 3 girls and 3 guys. We were all gaming. So we played AD&D from whenever to 2006, about a year and a half after CNC came out. Todd did not want to switch. He didn't want to play CNC. He likes AD&D. He wanted to keep playing AD&D. So I just bled CNC into the AD&D game. I just slowly merged the Siege engine. We were already doing some weird attribute check system that we had developed. So the Siege engine was a natural fit to kind of replace that. And after a while, Todd was playing Castles and Crusades, and he didn't even know it. So he converted over. It was really funny. He still won't let the big game, the game that we played back in the 80s the most, he still won't let us switch that to Castles and Crusades. That remains an AD&D, sacred game, which is cool because I love AD&D. So, how many weekly games do you run? I'd be interested in hearing any details, like how long your sessions are and how many players, that sort of stuff. So I run 2 sessions a week, one on Sundays, one on Wednesdays and or Thursdays, depending on whatever day we can get together. The one on Sundays is for a bunch of young people from the ages of 15 to 21, and the one on Thursdays is the group I've been gaming with since the 80s. But it's been cut down. There's only 2 of us. It's Todd, me, and Chris now. Laura's left, and Mac has left. They're married. They're retreated up into the mountains, and now they just can't get down here. So it's it's a 2-hour drive. So that crew has been cut down quite a bit. And Mark Sandy left to play Pathfinder. He's kind of a mechanics junkie, so he needed something a little bit more mechanics driven. But so it's me, Todd, and Chris on Thursday. We play about 3 hours, give or take, maybe 3.5 if we get there early enough. But Todd has a second job. He works at night, so we're really kind of waiting for Todd to get off and done. On Sundays, we play between 4 and 5 hours, starting at 1 and run to about 5 or 6, depending on where the session's going to end. And that game's got 4 players and myself. And that was they're both very interesting, but the young people's game is just fascinating right now because this type of gaming we've been gaming about 14 months, but it's relatively new to them, and they're still very much caught up in video game approach to things. So their interpretations of spells and mechanics and things that should be allowed and things that I don't allow, the conversations are very, very entertaining without a doubt. Let's see, I missed a whole bunch in there. Yes, bleed it in. I'm doing that with the nephews for a BXD&D game. Yep, that's the way to do it. My original world is based on a planet creating alien race that was betrayed from within, crashed their world ship into a planet, and all the races on the planet are derivative creatures. Of these creations of these aliens, and the world ship is scattered through the core of the planet. The aliens are worshipped as gods. Oh, no, that's very cool. That kind of brings in that whole... Because, see, I'm just going to make everything about aliens tonight, Chenault. It's just what I do. I don't know what's up with me and these crazy aliens and Roswell. But that's kind of the thematic thing I've seen pop up frequently is this DNA farming type deal that these aliens have done. And that's sort of what you got going there. That sounds cool. Is it fantasy or is it sci-fi? Have you gone to... Or both? Or have you gone full fantasy with it, or are you hanging on to a sci-fi version or a modern version of it? Modern games are hard to do, but can be really fun when done right. It took me 3 years of playing 3E to blend in enough CNC that my players finally acquiesced and said, "I guess we're playing CNC." So we did it the same way, Omu. you just gotta. Sometimes you have to lead them. It's just funny. But, it's sort of what I was talking about in that Reddit post. People, and I'm as bad as anybody, it's Dr. Pepper, brand loyalty. I mean, you get it and you stick with it. Even when people say to me, you need, creamy grand Dr. Pepper. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm not drinking any of that. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. That's what I'm drinking. And it's in D&D, of course, is the granddaddy of them all, because it was really the only. I mean, you had Rollmaster and MERPs, a couple other games that kind of held on, but D&D just dominated the market for decades. So it's very difficult to get people away from that. And why would they? Why would they shift from a brand that they're having a lot of fun with? What's the point of shifting to a new one? So you almost have to bleed them. It's one of the struggles that TLG has had, and one of the things I think that this new player's handbook is going to help immensely with this guy here. It's one of the struggles we've had is convincing people that you can have every bit as much and more fun with Castles and Crusades than you can with most other systems. And it's not to say that it's any better or whatever, but it's going to allow you far more freedom for storytelling to bring all of that to your table, which is, at the end of the day, even if you don't know it, it's what you want to do. I talked to Bill. He discovered Zoom Play is cool. Give it a try. I've tried that a little bit. Haven't managed to master it. Excellent Monday, Tuesday for games. Other nights for late night weird chats. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. No problem, Stadler. Well, I mean, Phantom, blah, 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 blah. Hey, given the collaboration with Jim Warden and Christopher Clark on the Warden, are there any plans for Amazing Adventure Star Siege modules co-authored with those guys in the future? You know, we haven't talked to him about that, but that's a great idea, man. I love Jim Ward. I actually talked to him last week. Chris Clark's a good writer. They're good game designers, good writers, and they're so easy to work with. Then some financials. I better make a note of that shit. I don't know what my notepad is. That's a very interesting idea. I like that concept. We used to do that after our games. Things would go weird. You were responding, let's see, tavern talk. Yeah, there you go. None of that. It is fantasy, but I use Clark's second law. Any technology sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic. So there's technology. I based a lot of my ideas on Zacharias Sitchin's writings. I've not actually read Sitchin's. I have to check that out. That's cool. I like that kind of. It's one of the reasons that one of the few games that I have played, aside from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Castles and Crusades, was the old Gamma World. I can't say what the new Gamma World looks like. So I can't comment. But I used to play the old Gamma World, and it was very much like Shinkai. It was fantasy, but there was stuff still remaining. And I love that concept. I think it's just, and the blending of magic and technology, that's easy to do. But I like the idea of there being something other than, something else. It's just kind of cool. I'm going to implement my sci-fi setting into Star Siege someday. Star Siege was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago. We still haven't gotten to it. Hopefully next week. It's not going to be this week, but hopefully just before Christmas we can roll that sucker out. We got it ready to go. Just need to make time and room in the schedule. So there you go. Just another guy named Harry. That's a great name. Bring it on down to Arkansas. How's it going tonight? Oh, yeah, we're talking old school Rollmaster. I used to look at those Walden books back when they had Walden books. Yeah, Walden books is no more, sadly. I spent a lot of money at Walden books back in the day. Davis is my brother who co-designed the Siege Engine in Castles and Crusades. Huge Rollmaster fan. Had all the Rollmaster books. We played some. I didn't really like the, what did you get? Level progression and... It's like the Build-A-Bear. Whatever the hell it's called. You got level progression RPGs and then the other type of RPGs, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's Build-A-Bear for lack of my knowledge. And that's what Rollmaster is. CNC is better. It just works. It does, and that's the hard thing to get across to people. That's a great slogan. Oh, can we use that? CNC, it just works. And it doesn't it took me months to realize how crazy effective the Siege Engine is and how adaptable and versatile it is. You can just do almost anything, absolutely anything. It's just wonderful. Steve, are you the reason our Dr. Pepper supplies are low up in the Batesville? Yeah, I'm down to 4 packs in there. I don't know if you can see it. Right under the Dr. Pepper sign, which should be, I can't figure this mess out right there. Can you see that? Yeah, it's on top of the fridge. We're running out here too. It ain't right. It just ain't right. And my son's up in Batesville, so he may be picking it up. I told him to get as much as he could. I'm all over sharing. I was thinking we could all make sure everybody has whatever they need. until it comes to Dr. Pepper, and then I'm not into sharing at all. So I think it's the funniest thing I've ever done. And I didn't even intentionally do this. I was at a convention, God knows where, probably Gen Con. And a very, very, very good friend of mine, Aldo Giazzi, was in the booth with me. And Aldo, he owns Impressions that sold to Flat River Group, and he has been my distributor for years. But he and I are very close. He's just good people. I've always liked him. But we're standing there at the booth, and he's talking, I'm talking, and he reaches over and he takes my Dr. Pepper and he took a drink out of it. And as he was drinking it, he looked at me, and apparently I was giving him such a death stare that he put it down and apologized. He has made fun of me ever since for casually threatening him for drinking my Dr. Pepper. So don't share the Dr. Pepper. I like that Troll Art Games. I just want to qualify that. If you have Dr. Pepper and I don't, you should share it. But let's qualify that. I'm thinking he's responsible for that. It could very well be. I like that Troll Art Games focus on domestic production. Ibonicus, that's a passion of mine. It's actually become almost a ridiculous passion of mine. Even in my personal life, my wife and I almost refuse to buy anything that's not made domestically, and sometimes it becomes very challenging. It's not as challenging as people want you to believe, but it sometimes can be tough to find what you want. I'm actually having trouble finding shirts is the toughest thing right now. This shirt is made in the United States. But all of TLG's products, our paper is made here in the United States. All of our products are made here in the United States. And the paper that goes into those are made here in the United States. The boxes we ship them in are made in the United States. So I'm all over that. And I have nothing against Canada, Mexico, or any, Europeans or any of that stuff. It's just good to do it domestically if you can for a host of reasons, wherever you are. If you're in Germany, do it domestically. It's good for the environment. It's good for local economies. It's just good all the way around. It's just very, very good. I'm probably sadly responsible for national. I would be if I could. The old Gamma World was just awesome, and that map was just cool. Second TTRG, Jim Wood is one of my heroes. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, so you guys are loving the Gamma World. Maybe I need to check the new one out. Old School Gamer was the only one I played. See, we're all on the same sheet of music. That's crazy. I was a Saltine Books guy myself. No, what is it? Saltine? There was another one. There was Walden Books, B. Dalton's. I thought there was another one. B. Dalton. Yeah, that's not B. A. Salton. B. Dalton. Yeah, B. Dalton was a good bookstore. But I thought there was a third one that was in malls. I can't. It's been too many long. Cheeseburgers. I need a cheeseburger right now. I had a grilled cheese sandwich for dinner, which is it's cheese, I guess. I've been down to Dublin here in Texas, visited the old Dr. Pepper plant where they made Dr. Pepper with cane sugar for many years. They don't make Dr. Pepper anymore, but they have their own brands now. That's very cool. I got to tell you, I don't know if you had any Shinkai 7. I don't know if you had it, but that cane sugar is so sweet. It is so sweet. It's good, but I'm used to whatever the hell they put in Dr. Pepper now. And I know that I know if you get Dr. Pepper, I don't even know if you can get Dr. Pepper made in Mexico, but if you get Coca-Cola made in Mexico, it's made with cane sugar still, and it is sweet. It is very good, but it is sweet. You got to kind of get used to it. We get every now and again, our grocery store people get glass bottles of Coca-Cola and Sprite, I think it is, and it comes from Mexico, and it's got cane sugar in it. It's delicious. It's very delicious. Books A Million. That wasn't it. I thought maybe I'm on crack, man. I'm not on crack, but I actually can't really joke about that. It was something. I thought there was a third one that was small, like Walden Books and B. Dalton's. That when you went to the mall, there would be, there's Walden Books in the mall. But maybe B. Dalton is what I'm thinking of. Books A Million, I think, comes later. I know Barnes & Noble comes later. Barnes & Noble used to be, I remember when I'd get this magazine. They had no retail stores. It was just a magazine out of wherever, Massachusetts, that had hundreds and hundreds of books in it. It was like a newspaper, really. I absolutely loved getting that magazine. It was, I could spend hours just going through it and circling stuff. It's like the little kid, when you're in second grade and you get those book things that you got, the book club or whatever the hell it is. In the woe begone days. I've got every edition of Gamma World and Metamorphosis Alpha and all modules ever produced. Oh, that's very cool. I worked at Walden Book back in the 90s. Hey, Good Linton. It was a good store. I loved Walden Books. Absolutely. I spent I spent way too much money in Walden Books when I had no money. When I was in college, I had a job, and about a third of my money would go right to Walden Books. I'd kind of divvy it up. 1/3 of the paycheck would go for rent, food, 1/3 for car payment, insurance, and 1/3 to Walden Books. Those were good days. They go well in ketchup. What, grilled cheese sandwiches? Or for me in Brentano's bookstore. Maybe Brentano's. That's what I was thinking of. Brentano's. That was a small one in the malls, wasn't it? That's what I'm thinking of. Brentano's. Brentano's. Why does that sound? Sounds very familiar. You heard it here first. Steve is on crack. I gotta give that habit up. Yeah, I've been beat on Borders and Walden Books. I've been watching. I keep wanting to say nachos. Narcos. And honestly, who's the narco in Narcos? Is it the narcotics officers or is it the traffickers? I don't know who's who, but the shows are insanely good. And I'm actually trying. I've watched now. I've watched seasons 1 through 3 of Narcos, and then the first season of Narcos Mexico. So 10 episodes a season, so 40 hours of television that is primarily in Spanish. And I've picked up nothing. I've absolutely picked up nothing. It's just embarrassing. So last night I was watching an episode. I was actually trying to just pick up words and memorize them. And I had memorized asshole for a few minutes, but now I've forgotten. I can't remember what it is. It's really kind of frustrating. I'm going to have to watch the whole thing over again just so that I can pick up some Spanish. It's very good television. If you're into that type of stuff, it's very, very good television. I met Margaret Rice for the first time there. She was doing a signing. Margaret Rice is just very, very nice. I think Brentano's is what I'm thinking of. I miss the golden age of bookstores. I do too. I really liked bookstores. And Barnes & Noble's a great bookstore, don't get me wrong. But I really enjoyed just going and kind of musing about, shopping and going. But those days are over. It's all internet now. Not all of it, but most of it. My favorite bookstore in the mall is Victoria's Secret. Wait, what? I think you're in the wrong bookstore. Well-armed nachos, yeah. It's good television. I got to tell you, I was very reluctant to watch it. I don't know why. I like violent TV, and this isn't even particularly violent, and I think that's why. Because it's kind of a mixture of a detective show and a violent show. It's kind of like a documentary. I don't know what the hell it's like. It's really good. Especially the first 3 seasons are good, but especially the Narcos Mexico is extraordinarily good. It's just really good TV. The main guy, I can't think of his name right now, Felix. And the guy playing Felix is fantastic. It's just a good show. I got a place down the street with barbecue brisket nachos. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to get someone from one of the cartels up here beating the hell out of me if I call them nachos one more time. And it's not them, it's the show. I don't know why I keep thinking that. But it's good. It's good. It's definitely good TV. I got to figure out some Spanish. I got to come out of this TV show with some Spanish somehow, or it's just going to be embarrassing. It's just going to be embarrassing. All right. One thing I want to thank you for is putting titles back in the game. The CK guide has the section on titles and land as rewards, and I absolutely loved it. I have missed having titles per level since they got rid of the second edition. Titles gave your character a sense of identity and added to roleplay. It's an element that kept your character from being cookie cutter from each other. I completely agree with that. I think I love that concept. I love the concept of land as treasure. It gives, the CK a whole new avenue to reward players for their actions, and then, like you've indicated, to build off of that. Once they've earned some land or whatever it is, a ranger, I can't remember how it's all set up, but now the CK has a host of new, role-playing opportunities, adventure opportunities that they can just tear into. And I think it's good. And I think, like you said, it breaks up that cookie-cutter side of things. And now you're somebody. You've got some kind of identity that you can latch onto and go, as opposed to whatever you've concocted for yourself, for your character, which is good. But as you progress in life, generally speaking, things change and your role changes and who you are changes. And whether you're a parent or at work or a different work or whatever. things generally change. And if you don't have any kind of structure for that in your game, then nothing changes for the character. He's a fighter. He started a fighter. He retires a fighter. So giving it a little bit more context for me is always a good thing. Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's a good section. I love it. Glad you're enjoying it too. Let's see. I drove out to Roosevelt Field, 25 miles with girlfriend once a week ago to two bookstores, Sam Goody and Nathan's Hot Dogs outside with an attached arcade. Nah, that sounds like a great time right there, Mercer. Bookstores, arcades, you got to go. And if you just had a cheeseburger stand and not a hot dog stand, it'd be perfect. My 2 cents with Marvel's Multiverse and G.I. Joe Transformers games all coming out in the next 2 years. In addition to everything else already going on, the industry may really get a boost. TV is so oversaturated, nobody's going to the movies. Video games are stealing my insulation, and I like to read. And I think you're onto something. I think it's already begun. I think that Dungeons & Dragons 5e has kind of shown what can happen for these companies if properly marketed and taken all those things into account. And with these platforms, G.I. Joe really. I think Transformers and the Marvel Universe are going to be a little bit hard to translate, but G.I. Joe will be easy to translate into a role-playing environment and to make it really super fun. I think there's huge potential. And I do think that the gaming, what's really cool about the younger generation, like they're called Zoomers. For those of you who know me on this, I hate the generational talk, but for younger gamers who grew up on video games, these tabletop role-playing games, are new or were new a few years ago. So they're rediscovering them. They're discovering them is what they're not rediscovering anything. They're discovering them, which is really, really cool because it's injected this gigantic new wave of players into the table and kind of created legitimacy that it certainly was there, but was missing in the marketplace. So I think you're right. Just another guy named Harry. Name's cracking me up. I think you're right. I think it's we're in a very good period of RPG experience. We had an amazing steak nachos in Batesville last night. Where'd you eat it? I've eaten at quite a few of the restaurants up there in Batesville. We got some good food up there. How's it going? Great, babe. Glad you could join us. Just finished dinner. There you go. I've been learning Russian swear words on TikTok. My son learned that when he was gaming with a bunch of Russians, and they kept cussing him out. He learned all kinds of Russian cuss words. The next 2 weeks are keto weeks, so tonight was keto chicken, parmesan, and roasted cauliflower. There you go. Now that the new PHB PHB 8 is out, what about the updated new Fancy Adventures backpack? When is that scheduled? So that's not on the schedule yet, but it's being worked on. So the plain book is next. Alpstrag is going to take my attention next year. I really want to get that hammered out, and if not finished, then mostly done. But in the meantime, we're rebuilding the Adventures backpack. We're pulling all the spells out of that, and we haven't begun yet, but the idea is to put things like psionics in there. There's a couple of the rules set. I think Jason's written a very well mechanically driven, I don't want to say complicated, but more involved fisticuffs. What is the hell? Like unarmed combat rules that are going to go in there. More polearm stuff, more animal companion stuff, and then all the classes brought up to 24th level. So what's going into the Adventures backpack second printing that's kind of decided, not all of it, but about 90% of it. And work will begin on that this year, and probably in the following year we'll roll it out. And we may roll it out in pieces, I'm thinking, especially the higher level classes. Those need to be brought up, and y'all are just given access to it. The plan is there when I get the Archer done through 24th level. We're just going to upload it, and everybody gets access. You can download it and then take your Adventures backpack and play the characters, so you keep playing as you wait for the rusty wheels on our wagon to bring stuff to bear. I'm still very eager to see an organized play component of CNC, something to motivate me to go to conventions and set up local games. Chuck is hard at work on that. The debut will be at Gen Con. Nope, the debut will be at Gary Con. But we've got the new logo going. We've got all kinds of stuff already going for the organized play. So hopefully in the coming weeks, you will see something materialize. I feel your pain. I've been back on the keto since October. I assume that's the type of diet. Walnut Books, I think it was Crown Books. That was the other bookstore in my mall. And Gamekeeper for D&D. Crown Books. See, I think Brentano's down here. I have to look at this. Crown Book sounds. See, the thing is that when I was younger, when I traveled, before cons took over my circuit, when I traveled, I just go places. I get in a car and just go. I have an atlas somewhere, all these highways and interstates kind of outlined in red. I just go. And always my end target was a bookstore. Wherever I went, I would go to a bookstore and hang out. So I've probably been to a Crown Books, but God knows when or where. I hate the generational stuff too. Passion, I do too. All that stuff's just Gen X is this, Boomers are this, Millennials are this, Zoomers are. People are people. Some are not good. Some are good. Some work really hard. Some don't work that much. Most everybody just tries to work really hard. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's just, it's just the way. Sometimes things go, whatever. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not one generation is this, that, or the other. Certainly there's cultural trends that go through, but at the end of the day, we're all just people. We're just people ambling along, trying not to get hit by a bus. And that was a high one in the D.C., Maryland area, I believe. I'm just glad the game stores are open and running games again in California. That's a very good thing. Not in my area, blah, blah, blah. I'm hoping for more aired codexes. Those are coming soon. We're working on the coastal region down beneath the Darkened Fault. Let's see. Steve, if you had to give a mission statement for the TLG organized play, what would it be? A mission statement. You'd have to define mission statement, but the idea behind the organized play is to bring Castles and Crusades to more gaming tables so that people can see what they're missing, essentially, when they're not playing this game. Because it is a fantastic game. For those of you just joining the stream, we've just released the Player's Handbook, 8th printing. This is that's the classic cover. that's the tribute cover. 8th printing is out now for sale on the store. But the organized play really is to bring enlightenment to the masses. How's that? How's that for your mission statement? Did that do it for you? Great, babe. Steve, we need you at a con on the West Coast someplace. Yeah, I need to get back out there. I used to go to Kubla Khan. Is it Genghis Khan? Or is Genghis Khan in Denver? There's Kubla Khan, Pacific Khan. Something else I used to go to, because I used to do 2 a year in California. I definitely need to get back out there. Did all the gods and heroes or whatever it was called from to go all get mailed? Yes. All of that is mailed. Some was returned. I should say this: if you paid shipping on it, and that what we did is we set that up in PayPal. This is really a question for Tim, but you should have been able to, because you had to get your address to us somehow. And now I can't remember how we did that. I think it was through PayPal, and we shipped them through I think we not PayPal, through the store. Good God. So check your email if you were part of that Kickstarter and you have not gotten your Gods and Legends, reach out to us and we'll get it to you, Varsuk, definitely. One way or the other. Black Dragon Games has a great idea for initiative rolls. All ranged attack spells go first in any round of combat, so long as they are not engaged in melee with anyone. As soon as they are in melee contact, normal initiative proceeds between characters. Now, that's kind of interesting. Now, I'll definitely give, I always give, if you're casting a spell and the enemy's 40, 60, 80 feet out, you're going first. Same with the bow. And that's why and it's the weirdest thing. Players use bows at my table so rarely. It's crazy. But in those 3 melee rounds that the monster's running at the party, they could shoot 6, 7, 8 arrows at them, and you're not going to kill it. Maybe you will, probably not, but you at least wound it. And so when it hits you, it's already down 10 hit points or something. Yeah, Sparky, you and I are in the same camp on that. I never get mine is what I'm asking. Steve mentioned it was returned. Oh, Dan Delgado. Oh, Lord Varsuk, something's going on with your address. You got to reach out to us because your signed copy of M2, Davis signed, or M1, whichever one it was, that was returned. Your Gods and Legends was returned. And something else was returned. That was a note given to me last week, and I forgot to reach out to Tim. So reach out to Tim, productsupport@troller.com, and we need to get, it's all stacked in the mailroom. We need to get that out to you, a big package to you. But yeah, so we got that stuff. So definitely bring your own Dr. Pepper. There's the mission statement. Definitely reach out to Tim, or I'll have Tim reach out to you. I'm sure he's talked to you some about it. Borrow emulates Living Grog-esque regions were a great thing. Dude, that was very cool. And we did have a Living Aired for a while. That went on for a couple of years, but the guys running it eventually moved away, and it just kind of fell in on itself. I never really did the living stuff, so I didn't know how to run it. Kubla Khan. I definitely went to Kubla Khan. Genghis Khan is in Denver. I did that one about 3 years running. Those are good conventions. I thought there was another con in and around DundraCon. So I've been to DundraCon and Kublai Khan and Genghis Khan. I did DundraCon and Kublai Khan for about 3 years in a row. I went to both of those, and Genghis Khan too. In the early days, in the first 10 years of this company, I went to about 10 conventions a year easily, if not up to 20. It got a little bit exhausting after a while. Dundra Pacific, Kublai are the ones I know in Northern California. We even did the LA Gen Con. The 1 year it was in LA. Indeed, I'm in California, but San Francisco is still 3 hours south of me. I'm closer to Oregon. Oh, so you're really up on the border there. Greenlington asks, are you setting up anything in local game comic shops around the country? Yes. That'll be part of the organized play. Chuck's in charge of that. And the idea is at conventions we're doing it, and at stores we're doing it, anywhere we can get people to set up in game. And there'll be a reward system. You know, the more you run games, the more X you get, and and you get a t-shirt and stuff like that. That's been all set up now. And we really do hope to have it up and running by January and then officially launched at GaryCon. That is the plans. We'll do that. It's so weird. I'll reach out to Tim. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is. It says not enough postage on the one, and then the other one was insufficient address. But I know one. I have no idea if I don't know what's going on, but we'll get it out to you. 3 hours north of San Francisco. Okay, we'll consider you an honorary Oregonian. There you go. I'm moving, ironically, next month. Yeah, well, we need to get to you quickly before that becomes a problem. Hey, my player's handbook and character sheet is just arrived. Oh, sweet. Very cool. We've been flying them out like crazy. So hopefully everyone will be getting them soon. What would it take to get a book signed by you? Just anytime you see me, I'll sign a book. If you purchase one in the store or have purchased one, if you put in the notes, please sign. We try to catch that. We don't always. But that's the easiest way. Though we are going to try to get to RockCon this year. You have a U-Haul full of Dr. Pepper. That was my offer, but I was rejected. That's up in the mountains. I keep that well hidden away in times of crisis. Dr. Pepper, chapstick, and Afrin. That's really all I need, and I'm good to go. It can keep me alive for a long, long time. And Games Caucus, I heard of that one, but can't recall where it was. I don't think I've ever heard of it. And we are planning on one of the PAXs. The PAX Unplugged, is that the one? That we're doing. Hey, when are we doing this raffle? I don't know. So I'm on Reddit after this. I'm going to jump onto Reddit, and there's a Q&A going on Reddit. So I'll be answering questions over there after this. How are the DM screens coming? They should be here next week, is what they're telling us. They're printing them this week, and they will ship either Friday or Monday. We hope. Apparently they've had the same supply problems that everybody else is having. So we were really hoping to have them by today when we release the Player's Handbook. That would have been just glorious. But it'll be probably Wednesday or Thursday before they arrive. And then, of course, we'll start pumping them out to the Kickstarter. So very soon, Great Babe. Looking at TLG's website just now, great stuff. But do you have a product line along the lines of Delta Green or Conspiracy X? You do live in Bigfoot. You're not yet, but we're going to. We're going to bring all this Roswell stuff to home. We've got Star Siege coming online and Tainted Lands. Both of these products, and will be Siege Engine-driven RPGs. Jason Vay's doing the work on these things, and we're going to bring this whole UFO, this whole cryptozoology is what you're talking about. We're going to bring all that to life. Anyone know if Game Store in Portland, Oregon is decent? I've never been. Game Storm. I think I know the guy who owns that. Thanks, blah, blah, blah. Very cool. If you are just joining us, please give us a follow. We appreciate all the support you can give us. I will be back again tomorrow at 4 to 5. We're going to start moving these streams around a little bit. I might even do tomorrow's 4:30 to 5:30 just to kind of get into the evening hours somewhat. But and then again on Thursday for James Tricks of the Trade. But today, of course, we're talking about the Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook that just released. It is available in the store. This is the tribute cover. It is a tribute to the original AD&D. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a glare. It's too much glare. To the AD&D cover, and then the classic cover by Peter Bradley, which is one of my favorite pieces of art that TLG has ever done. That paladin is just badass. Or knight, whatever you want to call him. Peter outdid himself there. I absolutely love that cover with the runes on the monster. He just went all Aryan on it, so it's just very cool. Vacation until January 3rd, so we can pack. Well, that's moving is always fun. There's no doubt. Actually, got to move my wife's office this month, so that's going to be fun. Yes, now that's a siege to look forward to. Tell Jason to write fast. He's got a stack of stuff to do. Yeah, I love that. Varsuga's my favorite. I just love that piece of work. I really like the tribute cover. Don't get me wrong, it's a great cover. But Peter Bradley outdid himself when he did this cover to the Player's Handbook, and I need to get him to paint me. That would be just cool, and put it up on the wall. It'd be just awesome. My friend got me started in RPGs through CNC. I'm enjoying it. Very good. Frank 5 Sinatra. Wait, how would that be? Frank Finatra? Finatra? I'm not sure how I would say that. Very interesting. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that CNC was your gateway drug to RPGs. What do they say? Marijuana is the gateway drug, so CNC is your gateway drug. We should probably not use that as a tagline. We should probably come up with something else. Still want new tribute versions next, plus and a new layout too. Yeah, the new layout, all the tribute stuff's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's badass. Jason outdid himself. But for me, from the gaming perspective, it's the layout that's going to do it, because one of the things that's frustrating for me when I'm running a game, and like we did a wizard battle like 3 weeks ago, and we're on the 7th printing, and finding area of effects and stuff, just that pertinent information is just a little bit annoying. But now that that's all highlighted, you kind of know what Fireball is. You just need to know what the area effect is. Well, now it's highlighted. It's right there. You can see it, snatch it, keep your game going. And anything for me that makes the game go faster is good. It's just all around good. Okay, everyone's stopping the giveaway drawing. The winners stand by. Okay, we're pulling the raffle winners up. Up first, 1 copy of Monsters and Treasures. That goes to Statler97. Very cool. So you will get the new tribute cover of the M&T. This is not it. This is the CKG. Here's the M&T. Here's the M&T. So you will have this one coming. And we'll make sure it's one of those that didn't get damaged in the binding process. And then that was that. Troller Games. One thing that I have noticed is that there are not a lot of Japanese-themed weapons. No katanas or, I can't say that second word, naganatas or anything like that. I mean, you can always extrapolate from the books, but I noticed there was nothing official. So that's actually being addressed. We've got the Mythos series that has. This is going to be a long answer to your comments. We have the Mythos series that has the Celtic myths, the Germanic, the Nordic, Slavic, Classic, and Egyptian myths. The next 2 books coming out in that series is the Chinese mythologies and the Korean mythologies. Now, those are going to be their own books that go with the Mythos series. It's already out and in print. You can get in the store and all that crap. But bringing in Arms and Armor, a book that we sell now, we're on our 2nd edition. Really, this is not just a printing. Between the first printing of Arms and Armor and the second, there was 30 pages of content added. And in the next version of Arms and Armor, there's going to be probably about 4 times as much content added, a lot of armor, a lot of weapons. And what Davis wants to do on that one is expand it out globally. We've done a European focus, but we want to go globally. Every continent, all of the ancient and medieval weapons that are out there. We're not going to go modern. That would be absolutely batshit insane. But from just you name it, and we're going to, from the Aztecs to the Egyptians to the Kingdom of Congo to the Australian Aborigines, if they had a weapon, we want it. Holy shit, I watched a TikTok the other day. This Polynesian fella, apparently someone commented that you couldn't hunt with, it's not a bola, I guess it's a sling. And this dude, man, I should have saved the TikTok. It was awesome. The sling is long. It's like 4 feet, and I could be like probably 3 feet long, something like that. And the stone that he throws is, golf ball size. And he hurled that stone, 50, 60 feet, and hit this. You could see the stone hit this small target on a stump with a resounding impact. It gave me quite the increased respect for that weapon. And it would definitely kill a rabbit instantly, probably knock a deer senseless. But that type of weapon, all of these different weapons from all of these different cultures, we want them in the book. So that is on Davis's Davis's target. He will probably have several people helping him with that. I'll probably jump in that as well. Yeah, so that stuff's very cool. And it's something that the game's lacking and the game definitely needs. We need to kind of push away from our European approach to fantasy gaming and kind of branch out. We've done it a little bit with the Mythos series, but we're fixing to do it even more as we tumble forward. I have it, but I didn't see Katana and Naginata. I don't have any idea how to say that word. Grat Statler, blah, 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 blah. Did we win it? Did someone else win? What are we doing? The Real Doggram has won. One signed, 2 regular copies of the player's handbook, 1 council keeper's own house treasures, please. Oh, good. That's quite a haul. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay, good. Age 1 sign. I don't know what that means. Okay, I'll Chuck. You got it handled. I'll leave it be. I'll leave it be. All right. I want your check AD&D second. He completes Ninja's Handbook. That's a good book from the long ago days. Congratulations, everybody who's winning. Will you be adding the weapon of choice by Peter Freuchen, the famed Arctic explorer? I don't know what that is, but now I think we have to. What is it? What is it, Hagar the Horrible? You got to tell us now. Whatever weapon it is, I think it's got to go in there. That's great. Pat66 won as well. Good deal. I don't know what's going on, but he was buried in an avalanche and used his own frozen. He used his own frozen poop to dig his way out. Poop as a knife to dig out. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to include that one. I'll have to talk to Davis and see if he wants. Well, I did say that is true. I did say it. Maybe some kind of... But what's going to happen if you're in a tropical environment? That's just going to get gross. It's going to get gross and stinky very, very quick. And it's not going to survive very long. Have to load up on Dr. Pepper and run my CNC game later. Excellent, Sparky. Are you sure it wasn't a Babe Ruth zapper? Jesus Christ. Now, the final giveaway, 1 signed copy, blah, 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 blah. There you go. Final giveaway as we wind down, and I'm about to jump on Reddit. If you haven't, Chuck will post if you haven't noticed, join us over on Reddit here in a few minutes. I feel like buying Victorious just so I can homebrew a spin-off set in the 60s and 70s. It's a good game. It's a little bit, just a smidgen off the Siege Engine, so it's a little bit different than our normal fare, but it's very Siege Engine-esque. Hopefully the second edition will be even more Siege Engine, but it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. I can only imagine the legendary status your character would achieve by killing a monster with your own frozen breath. Yeah, that's true. You win the game. You know, they always say you can't win at RPGs, but that might be how you win at RPGs. If you can kill the dragon with your own frozen poop. Man, you got to hand the guy to some kind of ingenuity there. He got himself out. All right, I think Sam the shit stabber. There you go. This took an unexpected turn. I have poop-related D&D story involving a legendary D&D personality. No one believes it. We probably don't want to hear it. That was awesome. Okay. Yeah, on that note, before Sparky gets his caught up in whatever twisted tale of manure is coming our way, which is ironic. I saw it. Jason Vase sent me the South Park clip where Cartman discovers his mother's proclivities with the dry. Anyways, that's just crazy. It's just crazy. We should have a song our little girl ferret would sing, Poop Box Hero. There you go. It's how the world, it's how it all works out. All right, on that, that's Foreigner who sings Jukebox Hero, and that is a great album. I got it over there in my growing collection of vinyl. I'm glad I could make a contribution to the discussion. We are too, Hagar the Horrible. Thanks for bringing that in. All right, so I will be back tomorrow again at 4. to 5. We're doing the same thing. More questions, answers, whatever we got, just jibber-jabbering about Hagar the Horrible poop knife, or I guess it wasn't your poop knife, it was someone's poop knife. But at any rate, and I'll be again back Thursday at 4 o'clock for GM Stretch of the Trade. If you have not, check out our store, the Player's Handbook. You can see all kinds of content that's going with the Player's Handbook there. 8th printing is now out and for sale, so scoop that up if you can. And if you just want to test it, we've got the 7th printing still for free download, so snatch a copy of that and go on. Otherwise, jump over to Reddit and hook me up there. I'm going to be on Reddit for the next 3 hours answering questions as the evening unfolds. You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for showing up. Very much appreciated. Love all the love and support, and these conversations are the highlight of my week. So, which says something. Anyways, I love these get-togethers, and we will see you tomorrow. No worries, Hagar. Glad you could join us. All right, everybody. Thanks, Omote. Thanks for that. We're really stoked on this version of the Player's Handbook, and all of this stuff coming out. Screens next week, hopefully, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, y'all.